for listening to Ron Siegel Radio on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, and anything else that comes to mind. We'll chat about it. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content this morning, please join me in welcoming our featured guests. We have got a full house today. Repeat offender Jeff Lutz, Anaheim Fire and Rescue. Welcome.
Great to be with you again, Ron.
Everybody else is newbies, Jeff. It's just you and me. We're going to have to see if we can carry this today.
Get them through this.
Get them through this. Danielle, Bryan, can you say hello at least, Danielle?
Hello.
There we go. She's from Anaheim Fire and Rescue as well. Good. Jim and Marie Hyepock, Major League Roofers. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to have you with us as well. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Obviously, it is another beautiful day, and we do celebrate. We find something to celebrate every day. And my team, I can't believe they actually did this to me today. Today is National Take a Hike Day.
You don't know better than that.
Take a Hike Day. How could they possibly put that on for the broadcast this morning? I think, having beaten anorexia, I am going with National Baklava Day. Sounds a little better in my book right there. I don't know if we can handle take a hike. Take a hike. Where did they come up with that stuff? Speaking of take a hike, our politics. I gotta love politics, but you can tie politics right into what's going on in sports this morning. Did you catch this one? I'm not a big fan of fighting, but we have had Janae Noonan on. She's a world-class MMA fighter. She actually announced her retirement right here on Ron Siegel Radio. She probably didn't want to fight Ronda Rousey. Did you catch any of that fight? I don't know if it was a fight. I guess she just took a kick in the head. But I guess there's not a lot of love between Ronda Rousey and Donald Trump. And you know Trump, he likes to speak his feelings, so he took to Twitter and denounced the former champ, likely in response to Rousey's comments back in July that she says she wouldn't trust Trump to run the country. Not sure why anybody cares about. Now, think about this. We're taking our advice on who's going to run the country from somebody that makes their living getting kicked in the head. Is there any logic to that? I don't get it.
You're absolutely useless.
So Trump came back, and after she takes a kick to the head, loses her fight. I wouldn't want to get in a ring with her myself. But Trump decided that he was going to get in a battle with her and other MMA people on Twitter. We know Trump likes that Twitter stuff. So he came back and said that he doesn't like her and she's not really a good fighter, and she was taken to the hospital, obviously not very happy about it. But how do you get that battle between Trump and Rousey? Now, that sounds really presidential to me. Doesn't that sound presidential to you, that he's arguing on Twitter with an MMA fighter? That's probably the most important thing that he has to do with his time.
Jeez.
Of course, then again, we did watch Bernie Sanders, and he told us the exact reason for all this terrorism. So that was probably just as exciting when he says climate change is the reason for terrorism.
You're absolutely useless.
Yeah, that's a good one there, too. I can't believe that one. Did you catch any of the president's press conference yesterday? He was not too happy at that press conference yesterday. Talking to the scolding the reporters. I guess he wasn't really talking to the reporters. I was waiting for him to pull this one out, but he didn't, so I'll share it for you, Mr. President.
So I know whose ass to kick.
Yeah, that's the one. So he's coming off telling the reporters that his strategy is working. That comes after his comments on Friday saying ISIS is contained right before the tragedies of France. I wonder if he got kicked in the head with Ronda Rousey. I don't know if that ties in at all, but just curious there. And now we're letting the Syrians come into the United States. Now, this is another interesting one. I'm going to wonder what's going to happen when the president gets back to the U.S. I don't know if they're monitoring what's going on. So, the president's generally not monitoring what's going on, but that's a whole different story.
What are you doing?
Absolutely. So here's the issue. The generals, the security advisors in the U.S. are saying that we have no way of vetting the Syrian refugees coming into the country. The president and his staff over in Turkey are saying that we have got very, very strong vetting possibilities or procedures in place. I wonder if there's a problem. Do we have a break in communication somewhere in leadership? I don't know, but if I were to guess...
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Yeah, the Detroit Free Press is saying Governor of Michigan, Rick Snyder, they don't want any Syrian refugees there. Governor Robert Bentley of Alabama, we don't want any refugees there. Governor Greg Abbott, Texas, they don't want any refugees there. Bobby Jindal, we'll discount him because he's running for president and they don't want any refugees there. Asa Hutchinson, Arkansas. Heck, even Charlie Baker in Massachusetts. Now, if you can't get a Massachusetts governor to go along with a Democrat president, we got a problem. Governor Mike Pence in Indiana. I'm not going to go through the list of 26 states who have all said they don't want any of the refugees there. And I was actually listening to an interview this morning with Pat McCrory, where he asked specifically to the administration, he's the governor of North Carolina, saying, tell us what the vetting procedures are. How do we do the background checks so we can keep our people safe? I couldn't get an answer to that one either. Exciting. Isn't that exciting that we get all these refugees coming here? They just bombed Paris, and now we talk about it going on here. Not too good a way to go into the last couple of months of the year when there's a lot of people out there doing a lot of things and not paying a lot of attention to what's going on here. Interesting. Moving right along. The House of Representatives passed their Bill S-2036 by a voice vote on Monday. It's going to be an interesting discussion. This is to cap the pay of the CEO of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac at $600,000. Now, $600,000, a lot of money. I can understand that. I can see the concept of capping their pay of government workers. Interesting. Capping the pay of government workers. Nancy Pelosi, did they cap her pay? I mean, she became pretty rich. Hillary Clinton, did she get her pay cap? Oh, no, that's $500 million, so that doesn't count when we talk about hers. But let's think about this. You've got two agencies that are responsible for billions and billions of dollars. And I can understand $600,000 is a lot of money. But don't we just want the best people possible running these agencies? It's your money. Now, if they're going to leave to go somewhere else and bring in Lois Lerner, maybe? I don't think that's the idea of where we really want to go with somebody running these agencies that are responsible for billions and billions of dollars. I'm just curious what your thoughts are there. If you have an opinion like I have an opinion, and I don't care if your opinion matches my opinion or not, let me know, Ron at ronsiegelradio.com, or you can post it right there, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. A lot of information there. We're moving right along. Any others that you've been watching on the presidential stump? Senator Ted Cruz. Got to look at this one. This might be a very interesting comment. He wants to change around his plans for taxation. And part of his plan would be to get rid of the IRS. Anybody have a problem with getting rid of the IRS? I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be nice. Get off my soapbox, because you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, getting ready for the holidays. We're going to talk fire safety, getting ready for El Nino. We're going to talk about the roof over your head. We discuss that every once in a while here on Ron Siegel Radio. How about the FHA fund? Should they be reducing the FHA taxes? We'll talk about that one. You can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia, presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Friday, Ron will pose a question based on-air conversations during the prior 7 programs. The person to post the answer according to the guest conversation will win a date night package, including a dinner gift card for Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You might even be able to say hi to Ron when you visit Reunion Kitchen and Drink.
It's not every day your home gets flooded, but when it happens, you've got the good people at Apris on your side. With over 25 years of construction and insurance experience, they can turn any disaster around, making your home good as new. For 24/7 support, call 844-GO-APRIS or find us on the web at www.apris.me. Day, night, rain, or shine, when it happens to you, you know what to do. Go Apris. Remember, call 844-GO-APRIS. That's 844-462-7747.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today brought to you by Commerce for a Cause, a great organization. If you take credit cards, you are paying a credit card processing fee. Commerce for a Cause, they match the fee, but the beauty of it is they're going to give 20% of that processing fee back to the nonprofit organization of your choice. Gotta love that idea. So the question or the commentary today, FHA came out and announced that their FHA fund, that is the fund in case properties go delinquent under an FHA loan for that minimal down payment, has passed their 2% target. So if they've passed the target, the question then comes up, are you going to lower the fees? Are you going to lower that insurance, the 1.75% upfront mortgage insurance fee? Well, they came back with the answer, like in every government situation or many government situations. No, we're going to keep that fee right on there. You probably could have guessed that, couldn't you?
So I know whose ass to kick.
Yeah, well. So the fees are going to stay the same. They're going to keep on making more money. At least they're not insolvent this week. We'll see if they can do better next year. That is the Mortgage Minute, again brought to you by Commerce for a Cause. Gotta love this time of year. We're starting to get into the holiday season, the festivities. I know it's not politically correct to say Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and all that good stuff, but I'm not politically correct, so I'm going to say it anyway, and I get pretty upset when I don't see those lights and the celebrations out there. I think it's pretty ludicrous of us to get too politically correct, but one thing that we can all agree on is safety. So we're going to talk a little bit about cooking safety, holiday safety. So we have got some of Anaheim's finest. We've got Jeff Lutz is with us back again, Anaheim Fire and Rescue.
Thank you, Ron.
And we've got Danielle Bryan. She's going to be the silent partner here from Anaheim Fire and Rescue as well. We'll see if we can get her to talk a little bit to us. Cooking safety, though, that's on the top of the list. I loved when I looked at this. I'm going to repeat what I just said off air. Cooking is the leading cause of home fires. And I'm not going to show this to my wife. Thank goodness she doesn't listen to the radio broadcast, because then she's going to say she wants to go out for dinner more frequently, and I'll be at reunion more often than I am now. So give us some ideas, Jeff. What do we got to know about cooking safety so we can stay safe this year?
Yeah, well, Ron, everybody loves to cook. This is a wonderful time of year, and I know I love to spend time in the kitchen cooking, and, who doesn't love a good deep fried?
I like eating.
And, those deep fried turkeys are so good, and we just want to make sure we remind our residents to do it safely. And, it's very important. The National Fire Protection Association tells us that around this time of year, the home fires are in the kitchen, and injuries are the leading cause. And we respond to probably 3 times more fires in the home at this time of year. So really a serious matter. We need to make sure the residents follow some very safe cooking tips when they're in the kitchen.
So give us a few tips. How do we, one of the things I think is probably a cause is you get the kid, mom wants to teach, and I'm going to be gender specific because I'm not politically correct, but mom wants to teach the kids how to cook.
Yeah.
And not necessarily mom's maybe not as attentive to the cooking as she is the other 10 months of the year because she's teaching.
Yeah, well, we really are recommending that, the parents going to try and keep the kids away from the kitchen during this time of year, especially, and focus on what's at hand, and that's keeping the kitchen area safe, keeping things away from the stove so that they don't get ignited, and getting the kids set up, with a little craft station or something that they can go out and they can, stay out of the kitchen while mom's cooking.
I like that idea, a little craft station and do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And keep them occupied so mom doesn't trip and somebody gets a hot pot of...
We want mom to be focused on the task at hand, which is cooking, making that good family dinner or whatever it may be, but keeping safe and keeping things away from the stove so that nothing catches on fire.
Okay, so in all seriousness, we were kind of chuckling during the break about the deep fried turkeys. Give us a little, because those are great. They taste wonderful.
They're fantastic, yeah. I love them myself.
Right. But how do we do it safely?
Well, the first thing is, follow the instructions. A lot of people, you got to do it outdoors, first of all. You'd be surprised. Some people like to try and do that in the garage or something. Get it in a nice, safe area out on the patio where as few combustibles as possible around it, and make sure you follow the instructions. Keep an eye on it too, because what happens is people walk away and they let that oil start to catch on fire, and then they don't have anything nearby to, like a fire extinguisher, to put it out, and the next thing you know, the fire's spreading to the combustible materials that are right next to where they're deep frying that turkey.
How far away from the house should the fryer be?
We like to say 10 feet, which is pretty doable in most places out on the patio. Just keep it about 10 feet away, and have a fire extinguisher handy nearby.
And what about watch overhead as well?
Yeah, definitely don't do it underneath a pine tree or something like that. But, because if you do have a fire that gets started, you don't want anything catching on fire up above it. And, those flames can jump about 3 or 4 feet up in the air.
And I would suggest, I'm just going to throw this out there, have a backup plan for not making the fried turkey just in case we get rain this year.
Right.
I mean,
you definitely want to, have a backup plan in all cases.
Right. Don't improvise and bring the fryer into the garage or into the house.
Not. Yeah, definitely. Right? You don't want to put that fryer inside the house for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what about decorations? What do we need to know there?
Well, as far as decorations go, one of the most important things is that we don't overload the electrical outlets. Because one of the things that we see routinely is that, people plugging in way too many lights or things into the outlets, and then the next thing you know, that outlet's overheating and it's causing a fire, and then the next thing you know, you got combustible materials that are next to it that are catching on fire, and then beyond that, then you've got a full house fire.
How many fire extinguishers should we have in our house now with all the things that are going on?
We like to recommend just one. Keep one in the kitchen, somewhere nearby. And then if you're going to, go out and do something, make sure that you have one nearby. But generally, we like to see people keep a little fire extinguisher right nearby in the kitchen.
Give us some ideas or some tips, because obviously this time of year, in the next couple of weeks, a lot of people are going to go start buying Christmas trees.
Yeah, definitely. We want to recommend to folks that they get a fresh Christmas tree if they're going to get a live tree. Keep it watered.
Okay, now I'm a Jewish kid here, so right. Explain to me, what do you mean by a fresh Christmas tree?
Well, you're going to get trees out there that, make sure that they're not seem like they're, dead when you get them.
Okay.
And test them out. And, you got to make sure that they're fresh and you get a good cut on it and get them right there in the water right away and keep them watered every single day.
Okay, and it's starting to get cold. I mean, I feel bad when I say this. I mean, we all got all the way down to 49 last night, and we're talking about it being cold.
Yeah, it was chilly this morning.
Break out those jackets. Give me how far from the furnace should we have the tree?
Yeah, we'll definitely keep about 3 feet away. So anytime you have a live tree or a tree that could catch on fire, keep about 3 foot of clearance space between that and anything around it. So like a heater, fireplace, or anything like that.
Okay, and obviously as it chilly, we've got to stand on that cold chill here. What do we need to do with our furnaces? I mean, is there any safety precautions that we should be thinking about now before we turn them on?
Yeah, most definitely. Make sure you get them tested and inspected. Make sure that there's not any buildup of creosote and things like that inside there. It's a real good opportunity at this point in time to call a professional and have them come out and check out the furnace or the chimney. Make sure it's ready to go, because the things could have built up from last year, but you want to have that checked and inspected just the first of the year. You're going to start using it.
Makes a lot of sense. Are you still doing that program for the seniors?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Ron.
Explain that a little. I love that program.
Yeah, this is one that's near and dear to my heart. And we were successful in Anaheim Fire and Rescue. We applied for a grant through FEMA, through the Assistance of Firefighters grant, and we were lucky to be awarded about $300,000 to expand that program. And that's why we've got Danielle, Bryan here, who's going to be managing that program, and we're going to really kick that off in the next 2 years, installing 12,000 smoke alarms throughout the city of Anaheim to our most vulnerable population, which are our seniors. And those seniors that can't afford their own smoke alarms, and they're more than likely to have old smoke alarms that don't work. So we know, the population is where they are. We want to reach out to them, and like I said, about in 2 years, we'll install about 12,000 new smoke alarms in those homes.
So how does that work, though, with the resources as far as the fire trucks and do they have to bring a whole fire crew out to put in a smoke detector or to do that safety check?
Well, we really are focusing on a two-person team, and we're lucky enough that the Orange County Red Cross is partnering up with this, and they're going to commit a lot of resources to it. They've committed to being our partner in this thing, and of course Anaheim Fire and Rescue will be right out there front and center. You'll see our firefighters installing smoke alarms along with our fire inspectors and everybody that we can. We're going to look to the community to help us, and anytime we have volunteers, it's a major task to get done in 2 years. So we're looking for a lot of help.
Well, then I guess you threw in that nice softball there, Jeff. Where do we go to help?
Yeah, well, just give us a call. We're at the Anaheim Fire and Rescue, and our website is www.anaheim.net, and just look on fire. It's the Home Fire Safety program, or give us a call, 714-765-4040, and ask someone about the home safety visit program. We'll be happy to come out and talk to you.
Are there other departments that are doing this in Southern California, or is this just unique to Anaheim?
Well, this is pretty unique to Anaheim as far as, especially with this scope and scale of the project. This is definitely, a huge undertaking for us. There's been other departments that have tried it, a much smaller scale, but we know in Anaheim that we have a large population of vulnerable senior citizens that we need to reach out to and protect them.
Well, if you don't know, if you're not living in Anaheim, shame on you. But then again, call your local fire department, see if they're participating in the program, and if not, start it on your own.
Yeah.
You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to talk about preparation for El Nino. How are we going to get our houses and our roofs ready? We will chat about that as well, and you can reach us anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. If you miss any part of our broadcast, you can go to Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube or ronsiegelradio.com in the archive. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL lendingteam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Southern California attorneys have over 15,000 real estate agents to call in Orange County for their personal and professional needs. Why do they overwhelmingly call Melinda Johnson? Simple. It's the Melinda Johnson trifecta. Melinda is an attorney, real estate broker, and realtor. Does your family deserve the same professional services California lawyers demand? Call Melinda Johnson at 714-863-5485. That's 714-863-5485. Or on the web at freedomfirstproperties.com. Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
37% of American homeowners believe they have over 20% equity in their homes. Fannie Mae tells us 69% of American homeowners have over 20% equity in their homes. Fully 1 in 3 American homeowners are not informed about the amount of equity they have in their homes. Are you one of them? How might this be holding you back from achieving your goals? Text RSR CMA to 79564 to get a property valuation from one of the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Again, to know how much your home is really worth, simply text RSR CMA to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment being brought to you by the real estate professionals within our area trusted professional program. You know, I share with you on a regular basis. You know, you can go to the website, you can go to all of these different places. Google, have you ever seen anything that's in error on Google? They get everything 100% right all the time, don't they? Maybe not. So here's the concept. If you actually go to Zillow, they're going to share with you deep within their website that the values they put on properties can be as much as 20% off. 20%. So being a simple guy, I'm going to use a simple number, $500,000 house. If they're 20% off, that means they're going to tell you your house is worth somewhere between $400,000 and $600,000. Big spread in my book. So what do? Get a professional equity analysis review. All you need to do is text PAIR, P-E-A-R, Professional Equity Analysis Review, simple guy, to 79564. One of the professionals will reach out to you and get you the actual values because they live in your neighborhood. And that's why I put on a regular basis, we talk about this, selling your home. You can do it on your own. You can also operate on your own knee. You can find out how to do that in Google. I got a bad knee. I wouldn't try operating on my own knee. The guy from forsalebyowner.com, the man who founded the company, do you know who sold his house? Do you think he put a for sale by owner sign in the front of his house in New York City? No, he went to a real estate professional. My suggestion to you is professionals will actually cost you absolutely nothing because they're going to get you the value. They understand what they're doing. They're going to get you more money. 14% is the statistic. You will get 14% more money for your home when you sell it through a real estate professional as opposed to selling it on your own. Do I have a real estate license? Am I speaking that way because I've got a vested interest? Well, the answer is yes, I do have a real estate license. I do not sell real estate, never have, don't intend to. But I do use real estate professionals. I think you should too. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. And speaking of professionals, we're getting right now into that time of year. Maybe, it's been about 4 or 5 years. We could ask Jeff this better, but it's been about 4 or 5 years since we've had any rain in Southern California, where they're telling us that we may get some rain this year. And our houses, our yards, they probably look pretty cruddy. I was going to say another word in there, but at least I caught myself before Steve had to beat me. But here's the issue is, what about your house? Do you have roof leaks? I don't even know what side of a screwdriver to use. I'll tell you that right off the bat. So we're going to talk to Jim and Marie Hyepock. They own a company, Major League Roofers. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. How often should I be checking my roof?
Well, most people don't check the roof until they have a problem. So the real answer to your question is every 2 to 4 years. 2 being best, 4 being okay, acceptable.
4 being that you're going to get away with it, maybe.
Correct.
You might have waited. So what would somebody? I wouldn't check my roof. I'll just be straight out. Because I don't know. I don't own a ladder, and someone at my size doesn't belong on one. So what would I be wanting to know from a roofing contractor if they come out to look at my roof? What am I going to ask?
Well, roofing maintenance is much like tuning up a car. You need to check the flashings. You have chimney flashings. You have pipe flashings. You have valleyways that...
you have to back up a second because I'm a simple guy. What is a flashing?
Well, flashing is a protective...
When I was in college, I knew what flashing was, but I don't think we're talking about
that now. all the ventilation and plumbing vents that come through the roof are pipes, and they need to have a flashing around them to protect them and seal them to the roofing itself.
Okay, so that's where the contractor is going to look at that and make sure that it's there, or
it's sealed. They're all sealed. There. It just needs to be sealed, as well as chimney flashings.
So from a simple guy, it seems like those type of things, the sun is going to wear them out or make them crack or something?
Generally, they're sealed with adhesives and caulking, those types of things, and the caulking will crack and peel and dry out over time.
Now, I see these signs on the side of the road that don't look real professional to me, and they say something about check your chimney for, I don't know, $29.95, the old Earl Scheib thing or something. How do I know if I'm finding somebody that's really good in what they do and reputable?
Well, in any contractor situation, you need to get on the site of California State License and see if they're licensed. Once that you find a contractor who is licensed, then you want to see their certificates of insurance. And that's not just a one certificate. It's a certificate that can handle not only the workers' comp insurance, it also handles the general liability and automobile. And you need to have all three of those indicated on a certificate that shows that they're insured.
Is there a difference between contractors? So if I go on that site and look up contractor and they say they've got a contractor's license, does that mean they should know what they're doing in the roofing world?
That is correct. And some of them are exempt, which means they have no employees. So if the man who owns the company or has the license, if he sends someone out, he's not truly insured because he has an employee.
Okay, so any contractor works. It's not like it's I'm, as a simple guy, I'm thinking here, I don't want to go and have knee surgery from a heart surgeon. Right, so if a contractor can build, I don't know, walls, does that mean that he also can deal with roofs?
Not necessarily.
You want a specialist?
You want a specialist.
Okay,
absolutely.
So it's back into that world of specialties and get the right person for the right job as opposed to just somebody that does everything.
Correct.
What the Major League Roofers? I love the name because I'm a sports junkie. Obviously, our flagship station, ESPN. What's the difference with Major League Roofers and other companies?
Well, we specialize. We use products that are widely known. We use Owens Corning products for our composition shingles. We use a product called HydroStop, which is a fluid-applied commercial product that is a roof system. It's not just a coating, it's a roof system. And James Hardy for siding. These are all international type companies that have great history and great value.
James Hardy, I thought that was a basketball player. So shows what I know, right?
That would be James Worthy.
Greg Hardy.
Jim, you're dating yourself. Isn't Hardy the guy in Houston that
He
has
plays
that?
for Dallas Cowboys, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we don't even want to talk
That
about
guy.
him. Yeah, that guy shouldn't be playing for anybody. No kid should watch him. Interesting. Okay, so we've got getting a little bit of knowledge there. What do we need to know with regard to El Nino?
Well, it's if you haven't had your...
Get an umbrella. I know. Don't.
If you're married, get two. Well, El Nino has certainly prompted others to people to call in and wanting to have their roofs checked. Well, it may be a little too late because most of the roofers are really, really busy. However, what they want to check is, again, the seals around the pipe flashings and the chimney, and they want to make sure the waterways or the valley areas that shed the water are clear of debris. And as well, your rain gutters and downspouts need to be clear and ready to move the water out.
And is that something that we would call a company like yours to do with the gutters and clearing that areas and whatnot?
Yes, that would be correct. We do a complete maintenance system or a tune-up, which would include the gutters and downspouts.
Okay. So the maintenance system and the tune-up to me seems like it's something like every year you'd want to do that before rainy season.
Absolutely.
Just a little plug there for you, Jim.
Thank you very much.
So tell us a little bit. I heard, I was over at with the Anaheim Fire and Rescue event, and I looked at that looked like a little house.
That's our fire safe demonstration house.
Well, something I saw I saw a program this past weekend or the weekend before about that. It was people living in little 300 square foot houses too. I don't know where my wife would put her closet. Actually, she'd probably put her stuff there and me out.
That one's 120 square feet. That one.
So what is the roofing got to do with this Ready, Set, Go that we were dealing with?
Well, that's a great question. One of the things that is important on a roof is ventilation. The ventilation keeps the attic space cool, and there's a natural way to do ventilation, which is intake and exhaust. And it's a pretty simple formula. You want to have equal and opposing intake, which means the square inches of air come in, and then you want to have the exhaust equal those square inches so it pushes it right out of the peak of the roof. That is for ventilation. The real important thing is to make sure that you have ember-free type ventilation. Whether it's intake or exhaust, you do not want to have the embers have the ability to go through the intake or the exhaust.
That sounds pretty technical.
Well,
I'm glad we can call you for that. Holy cow, I wouldn't even know. It's interesting because there's so many different areas of where you can do things the right way or just go out there and try and get them done. Right? And the big difference between doing it right and getting it done. So, you're a lot more scientific than what I've ever heard from the concept of roofing. My thought would be, get a roof on there and don't let it leak.
Unfortunately, that's been the thought of many roofers over the past. Since I've been in the industry for over 40 years, every bundle of shingles will tell you that the warranty is null and void if the roof is not properly ventilated. Unfortunately, roofers have not been ventilating up until the last few years, and it still hasn't gone on with everyone.
Interesting. Okay, so now I hear that you're a bit of a singer. I don't know if that, but there's something about a jingle that you know how to do. So I'm going to throw this to you, Jim. Let's see if we can get this. Give us your jingle. Here we go. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Whether you have a hole in your roof or need a whole new roof, contact Major League Roofers at majorleagueroofers.com. You'll be safe at home.
Pretty good there. And there's some of us that just have a hole in our head, so we're going to call Major League Roofers for that too. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we will continue our conversation with Jim and Marie Hyepock. We're also talking to Danielle Bryan. Well, Danielle's not saying much today. And Jeff Lutz from Anaheim Fire and Rescue. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And you can meet any of our guests through that Facebook page. We put their contact information right there. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a loved one who wants to stay in their home, but you have health concerns about it? The Preferred Care team understands the challenges of caring for your loved ones. Their goal is to keep seniors as independent as possible while maintaining their health, safety, and overall well-being. Whether you need just a few hours a week or 24-hour care, Preferred Care caregivers are trained to meet your needs. Call Preferred Care at 714-696-9150. That's 714-696-9150. Or visit preferredcare.com.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Saving energy is a matter of degrees. Lower your furnace thermostat 3 to 5 degrees and save up to 20% on winter heating costs. For winter energy savings tips, connect at SDGE.com/winter.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So here's the question. I pose this on a regular basis, and I use different names every day, but the thought is the same. Under Armour, Urban Outfitters, Walmart, Netflix, and Home Depot. If you can figure out what all those companies have in common, you'll be ready to come and take my job. But here's what they do have in common. They are all on the New York Stock Exchange, and every one of them has a board of directors, every one of them. But how about you? Do you have a household board of directors? That's the question, and we're on a mission to set up that household board of directors for you. And all you have to do is text ATP, Area Trusted Professional, ATP, to 79564. Take a 3-minute survey, and we will get you the names of that household board of directors to help you. And that's real estate professionals, mortgage, insurance, tax planners, CPAs, financial planners, attorneys. They're all part of the program. Are you? Just think about that concept. And the thought today is the economic value of FHA's reverse mortgage. And I hear people, they hear the word reverse mortgage and they cringe. And generally that just tells me ignorance. Because they're thinking about the reverse mortgage of 1970 instead of the reverse mortgage of 2015. It's changed radically, actually changed under President Reagan. But the FHA reverse mortgage, the portfolio grew by $7.9 billion this past year. $7.9 billion. Now, I want to get this out there right away. Do I believe that the FHA reverse mortgage is right for everybody? Absolutely not. But I don't think any financial vehicle is right for everybody. But I do know, and I get these calls all the time, of seniors who have no money at the end of the month. They're eating cat food. Unfortunately, it sounds gross. It is exactly the truth, where they don't have money to eat, but they've got a lot of equity in their house. And then there's some family member will say, well, you don't want to do that. The bank's going to take your house from you. Well, the bank doesn't ever take their house from you on a reverse mortgage. They don't want it. They just want their money back. So as long as you do all the same things that you would do with a forward mortgage, there are no additional risks on a reverse mortgage. Think about that. If you want more information on the program, again, I'll put you in touch with the right people. We are seeing, there's no reservations in this world. I promise you, there are no reservations for a broken hip, dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. You don't get to make a reservation for any of those things. You might want to have a standby line of credit available in case you need some home health, you need to go into assisted living of some sort for a temporary period of time. Just do the exploration. Never hurts to be educated. That is the Word on Wealth segment today. Again, brought to you by the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel. Get that board of directors. Text ATP to 79564. We are continuing our conversation with Jim and Marie Hyepock, Major League Roofers. We are also speaking with Jeff Lutz, Danielle, Bryan from Anaheim Fire and Rescue. Boy, if you guys had an opportunity on live stream, you get to see us during the commercials. You may not be able to hear what we're saying, but we have some fun in here. But we also get a little bit of education, or I get education. Our guests know what they're talking about, so there's only one of us that doesn't know what they're talking about. But I get to chat with people every day. So we were chatting during the break about the concept here of being ready prepared for any kind of fires. We live in fire areas. Jeff, what's fire season nowadays?
Well, we really consider fire season to be year-round at this point.
So January through December, we got that season down pat.
Yeah, you never know. It used to be like you could really count on when the wildfires were going to come, but now anymore, they're occurring all times of the year. So
now my house was made or built. I shouldn't say made. Built in I think 76 or 77.
Yeah.
So do I need to look at any of we were just learning about ventilation from Jim.
Yep.
Would they have had the same code back then as they do today?
No, they have the codes have changed quite a bit. And after wildfires, we in the fire protection industry, we really look at the codes and reanalyze what we can do to improve. And after the freeway fire a few years back, one of the major things that came out was what Jim was talking about, the vents. So we learned from that fire that the vents that were in the houses that were built 70s and 80s and even in the 90s are not adequate to protect the embers from entering into the attic. So we're really encouraging people to take a look at those vents and either retrofit them with ember-resistant vents or replace them with some wire mesh that's 1/8 inch, and that will do the trick as well.
So Jim, are they when you do a roof inspection, do you come and make suggestions along those lines that things that should be done or maybe considered?
Absolutely. What we find often is the old type of ventilation where the homes were built in the 70s and 80s, they actually have or what we call gable vents. That gable vent doesn't know whether intake or exhaust, and it certainly doesn't have ember-free grid in it.
Gable vent. You're way above my. So, I mean, you're talking about the vents. Is that little round thing that sticks out of the top? Is that a vent that sticks out of the top of the roof?
If it's a half round, it's usually called a dormer.
Okay.
Okay, but again, it doesn't know whether it's an exhaust or an intake, and so it's fighting, and it concentrates that movement of air just around the vent itself. It doesn't ventilate the whole attic.
How do you? So when you're talking about this ventilation system, to me it almost sounds like it's going to keep my attic a little cooler too. Is that?
Oh, absolutely. A natural dynamic flow with equal and opposing intake pushes the air out the exhaust, providing you have exhaust.
Holy, this is pretty technical stuff. I was just thinking that it covers my house.
Well,
it's way more than that, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Right. It's actually a very simple arithmetic formula, and you want to make sure that for the ventilation to act properly, you must have equal and opposing intake, and you must have that amount equal in exhaust, so the air will come into your attic at the low spot and exit your attic at the peak.
In at the low, okay.
Under the eaves, out of the ridge.
Okay. That's so. Is it a different vent? I mean, it's like a male-female vent type thing where you expect them to fit together, so to speak?
Well, some houses actually have. If you notice between the rafters of your home, you'll see blocking that has holes, usually 3 or 4 holes. That's intake. Unfortunately, they didn't build the exhaust.
Okay, so how did, I hear one of the key things I hear a lot of people talking about now is whole house fans and attic fans. Does that fit into this somehow?
Well, yes, it does. However, that too needs to be calculated to make sure it operates properly and it functions well. And it's all about proper intake and exhaust. It doesn't get any more difficult than that.
And these are things that you just don't hear people talk about. I mean, when you talk about roofs, I've talked to many people that they chat about a roof, they chat about needing it to be fixed or things like that, or to have a whole new roof put on. And you never hear somebody talk about the technicalities, I guess.
Well, unfortunately, roofers weren't well schooled in it years ago, nor were there codes to address it. So it's something that's come to the forefront at this day and age, and the perfect time to do it is when a new roof is installed. Perfect time to do proper insulation, proper ventilation.
Is roofing something that you have to have a permit to do?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you can't just go down to Home Depot, buy all the parts, and throw it all up there.
That's correct.
Doesn't
I don't recommend that.
So it goes back to another one of those things that's kind of like the old Google thing that I was talking about earlier. You could find out how to do it, but you're probably not going to do it right.
That's correct.
In experience, I mean, you said you've been doing this, 40 years?
Actually, it's probably close to 42. Right out of college, I was on my way to Cincinnati to go to work for a different company, and I met a roofing contractor the day I was to fly out and made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Well, at least in Cincinnati, it'd be a little bit cooler there. I mean, here you can work year-round. You get a little more time off if you're in Cincinnati. That's a big difference. Interesting. Okay. What else do we need to know? I mean, we're talking about the Ready, Set, Go, and you're talking about that fire-safe house. What's going on with that?
Yeah, well, the Fire Safe House, and we really want to thank Jim and Marie for being our leading champions for that house and bringing all the resources to build that house. We're just about done. We've got a couple little things to finish up, but the garden is complete out there. Go and take a look at it. And the house is just a few minor touch-ups, but that's going to be a really focal point for our Ready, Set, Go program. And again, thanks to Major League Roofers and Jim and Marie.
That's exciting. I saw the roof there. I mean, to me, you can't really tell any difference. right? Look, go ahead.
On that regard, the roofing particularly is that Class A fire-safe composition shingle roof, Owens Corning product. But beyond that, then, is the James Hardie siding, which is a fibrous cement siding, which is fire-safe also versus a wood or vinyl siding. And so that house, that demonstration house, is a prime example of how a homeowner can truly protect their home in the event of fire.
Now, we're expecting a lot of new housing in Orange County. I mean, we keep hearing about that all the time. Is that something that's required, or is that an upgrade based on the way that house is built?
Yeah, it's now in the areas that are called a very high fire hazard severity zone, which a lot of Orange County is comprised of that zone itself. The building codes, like I said before, have been strengthened to now require those types of fire-resistant construction methods.
Sounds great. If you want more information, give me a call. I'll put you in touch with Jim and Marie from Major League Roofers. Obviously, you can go see that fire-safe house, and be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today, and of course a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Call me anytime, 800-306-1990, and remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
XEPN 1700 AM Baja California.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.